Hey guys, I'm David, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. We're here on Blue Coast Isle with Orion and the Wood Elves, all Vanguard up against the Vampire Coast. So let's get to it. I've got 5 Dryads here, 5 units of Deepwood Scouts, 4 with Swift Shivers and 1 without. 2 Dryads, we've got 1 with Pendulum, 1 with Healing. And as for Vampire Coast, we've got a balloon here, which Orion's just about to go pop, some scurvy dogs, bunch of zombies that are getting lit up here, 2 crabs, yep, there goes the balloon, as well as a mortar here, another mortar, and yeah, lots of zombies. Of course, the mortar is going to be first thing I'm focusing on. We've also got a Mourngul Haunter here, and the Dryads move in to engage. Over on this side, I've also got some Sisters of Thorn, plus some Glade Riders who came in and just wrecked 1 unit of Scurvy Dogs. Other unit of Scurvy Dogs did manage to get loose, get up in the back line, so he's kind of in a threatening position now. And yeah, we managed to shut down both artillery pieces already. That being said, this double crab is going to be a bit of an issue since the Swift Shiver Shards don't have the best armor piercing in the world. They do have magic damage though, the Swift Shivers at least, so we should be able to get some magic damage in on these Ethereal Knights. Likewise, obviously the infantry, the Dryads do magic damage as well, but unfortunately I'm just not able to really focus any of those resources in here at the moment. Crab summons in the back line as well, as just bogging down all of my my archers here. Really not a great situation. These hounds also get in, start to chew up some of the Deepwood Scouts here, so definitely some good back and forth at the moment. Mourngul Haunter comes in. Looks like he's fighting the Dryad boy, the Branch Wraith with Dryad support. Should be able to win that fight. A little melee attack buff puts those Dryads up to 38 attack. A nice little spell there from CYLOSTRA. We kind of take another overarching look here. You can see a lot of the Dryads have cut through most of the zombies, but we're going to start taking some losses to the crabs. Both crabs messing with this archer line here, and I've taken some horrendous losses on my Deepwood Scouts. I mean, granted, we have just about finished off these Knights Errant. Their summon degeneration timer is just about up anyway. Same thing with the, whoops, keep doing that. I need to rebind that key. My apologies, guys. Anyway, the Deepwood Scouts, though, and the Sisters of Thorn, they can kind of shoot in here. They have decent enough AP values. The Sisters of Thorn, in particular, can do quite well, although it looks like they're shooting over into these zombies instead, which is definitely a bit of a mistake. Balance of power starting to turn against me already, as a lot of my archers have been dealt with. The Dryads are starting to get a bit low as well, and I'm not sure exactly where Orion got off to. Looks like he's here fighting the crab, very low on HP. I mean, granted, he does have that Cloak of Isha, so the crab actually won't be able to finish him off, I don't think, but has got quite a bit of XP chevronage going on from taking out high-value targets. And Orion likewise is going to be able to counterpunch pretty well there. As long as he doesn't get finished off, I should be okay. That Cloak of Isha definitely going to be very important in that late game situation. Meanwhile, over here, just cycle charging and using that Horn of the Wild Hunt. I believe it's active. Yep, so we've got a boost to the charge bonus here on all these units. Going to use that to go ahead and charge in, try and finish off this Haunter in melee. You can see he's not very happy about that situation. Let's have a look at his HP here. Yeah, definitely quickly dropping Curse of Onraher as well from the Sisters of Thorn being used there to help keep him debuffed. A lot of my Dryads being routed off, but I'm bringing Orion back over because he is taking enough damage that I didn't quite want him to get finished off. I'm going to try and rally with that Branch Wraith there, maybe rally with some of these other troops over here. I'm going to throw some Hounds of Orion on top of these deckhands. They're going to kind of chase them a little bit. We also have some rallying Swift Shiver Shards here coming back, and it looks like CYLOSTRA here. Not sure exactly what she's doing, singing a song of her people, but yeah, so far so good. Gonna get a nice heal, or get an Earthblood to replenish some of those cavalry units. They didn't take that much damage, but mostly just for the Dryad, and a little bit of extra healing for the Cav as well. Orion could have used some of that healing, but I'm gonna try and keep relying on that Cloak of Isha to keep him alive. As long as he doesn't get double teamed by the 2 crabs, we should be relatively safe. Looks like CYLOSTRA's finished singing her song, going to be making her way over, and this first crab, or I guess the second crab rather, drops to Orion, and now I'm not feeling too worried. I was a little bit concerned that we weren't going to be able to finish off these crabs in the late game, that I just wasn't going to have enough, but with Orion surviving that fight just barely, and now we're going to be able to finish off these last couple units of zombies here with the 2 branch wraiths fighting side by side now. With the Dryads here, CYLOSTRA coming in for a rear charge, but here comes Orion. Horn of the Wild Hunt gets popped, and his charge bonus goes up quite a bit as well, up to 70 charge bonus on him, so he's coming in with a massive few attacks here, trying to finish off that mean crab lady. We'll keep it nice and close for the cinematic shot. Swift Shiver Shards, those blue magic arrows flying in here. We've got a few of the regular missiles from the javelins from the Sisters of Thorn as well. I also used that Shield of Thorns. You can see the effect just now wearing off, and that's going to be it for CYLOSTRA. She can't stand up to all of this. One more Horn of the Wild Hunt, just for good measure, and the Sisters charge in for the finishing blow. Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff. This game is gorgeous, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Blade Riders come in for good measure. CYLOSTRA goes flying off the crab, and that's the end of it. So, well played to THICC, my opponent there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that one. Some nice back and forth. A great job from him disrupting that backline. And, I mean, getting confronted with this all-Vanguard kind of rush build from the Wood Elves, definitely a little bit scary. He did a great job summoning up the crabs and the knights, and then using these 2 crabs as well to disrupt this missile line and keep them from firing too much. Yeah, for myself, the Sisters of Thorn and the Glade Riders actually ended up being kind of MVPs here. You know, not only using their support buffs and most of their ammo, but kind of charging in, wrecking those scurvy dogs on the one side immediately, and then using their ammo on various high-value targets, kind of cycle charging in and out with that Horn of the Wild Hunt. Ended up being very, very nice. I'm a huge fan of Sisters of Thorn, at least one unit, pretty much always. The Dryads also got a lot of kill totals, not any chevrons as you would expect against zombies, but the Deepwood Scouts ended up being a little bit of a rough pick for me. Got taken out very, very efficiently by THICC's, kind of pressure here, but at the end of the day was able to draw away a lot of those units so that the Dryads had more or less free reign to just cut through the zombies, right? Like the crabs weren't really supporting the zombies because they were busy trying to clean up the archers, which was absolutely the right play. Did kind of force a little bit of a weird situation there. Cloak of Isha and Orion, of course, just being absolute chads in the late game. Me, despite playing with total ham fist, he still managed to stay alive deep into the late game there and helping to finish off those crabs, of course, with his anti-large armor piercing. Very, very key. 87 kills for the 1 Branch Wraith with the Pendulum. The healer Branch Wraith only got 16 kills, but again, he provides that, or she rather, provides that little +5 melee attack aura and can get some good splash attacks as well. So I quite like with this all Vanguard going with the double Branch Wraith here. Deepwood Scouts also kind of give you a little bit of a wider line. I'm still not completely sold on this all Vanguard for Wood Elves. I think until we get like a melee Glade Rider or some other kind of cheaper fast attack melee unit, it's going to be hard to make something like this really work super efficiently, but still definitely fun to try, especially against a faction like Vampire Coast, who can sometimes be vulnerable to that surprise kind of mass Vanguard rush build, right? And for THICC's side, the mortars were definitely super rough, but like I said, great work with both CYLOSTRA and this other crab here. The one scurvy dog that didn't get immediately just wrecked by my cavalry also did quite well. The zombies, I mean, they're pretty much zombies as you would expect, and unfortunately the bloaty boy got popped immediately by mean Orion, so that was a little bit sad. But yeah, just kind of talking a little bit more in depth about Wood Elves here and their Vanguard options. Yeah, I've talked a little bit about this in recent videos, but I kind of wanted to hammer down the point today specifically, just in case anyone from CA is watching this. Somehow I doubt it, but regardless, for those of you who are still here, I've talked about this a little bit before, but Wood Elves need a cheaper melee cavalry option, or some kind of fast attack like Hound type unit. There are a couple of options that I've kind of floated. I want to say in tabletop, you guys who are more knowledgeable than me will have to let me know, there is a melee version of the Glade Riders, And so, looking at the Glade Riders at 700, they're honestly quite comparable to something like an Illyrian Reaver, right? So if we have a look, Illyrian Reavers are 750, and Glade Riders, the basic version, are 700, right? They are pretty comparable. Illyrian Reavers have a little bit more HP and armor, a little bit more leadership, not quite as fast, but obviously some minor combat stat differences, but mostly these units are very, very comparable, right? So if we think about a melee version of the Glade Riders, then they would probably come in right around 500 to 550 points, just like your Illyrian Reaver melee, or of course, you know, Dark Riders being in a very similar position, right? 650 for their crossbow version, and then only 500 for the melee version. So just having a melee version of Glade Riders would help immensely, somewhere in that like 500 to 650 cost range. Like even if you wanted to make them have better stats and just be better than Illyrian Reavers, then you could make them more like Nehekara Horsemen, but from a cost perspective, it would be really nice to have them either at 500 or 550, just like the other Elvish factions. You could also do, this is something I've proposed before, is something like a fast attack forest spirit, like a tree hound or something. So if you look at something like a Chaos Warhound, something similar in cost and stat profile. Maybe it has, you know, the physical resistance and a little bit higher armor at the cost of maybe lesser unit models or some other stat. But well, I'm not looking at the right one here. Warriors of Chaos is what I wanted to do. Something like I don't know, like a Warhound that's maybe a little bit cheaper, 400 to 450, in comparison to the possible Glade Rider. I don't know. Either of those two would be a huge help for the Wood Elves, and would definitely help them kind of compete against factions like the Beastmen and more. So yeah, please CA, if the Wood Elves ever get a rework, I'm assuming they will get a rework. I'm praying that their campaign will get a rework, because it really, really needs it. They could use more Legendary Lords as well, obviously. And yeah, melee Glade Riders or Forest Spirit Hounds, something like that. Some cheaper fast attack units, so you don't have to come in here and like buy Wild Riders or Sisters of Thorn to get any kind of meaningful melee cav. I mean, Glade Riders are okay in melee, but they're definitely not, again, 700 points, missile melee cav kind of hybrid. It's really still tough to make work at that price range. So please, CA, cheaper light cav for Wood Elves, please. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you do like that sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.